really shitty. Welcome
Oh,
to Pod with you, me, other.
that's the thing. That's the thing he says. He always says that.
So it's the Hydra podcast with you, me, and
Yippee!
my gardeners in the background.
Everyone's welcome. Everyone gets to join.
Yeah,
I'll drink to that. Sody, it's good to be back. I feel like it's been years since we've done this.
yeah. Let's go to the main dock.
The main dock, you
I
say?
feel
What a
like
great idea.
I'm gonna get bait.
Move over here.
I feel like we haven't gone to the main dock in a long time.
It's over here, you're right. Yeah. We've done it only, we've revisited it once, I think, since the first episode.
How you doing, Cam? How's your mind?
Oh,
How's your
yeah.
body? How's your fidget toys?
My mind is doing pretty well. I'm like always in a constant evolution of what I'm into and what I like to do. So, like, I was really into a few games just the past couple weeks, and now it's like, nah, done with those.
Well, thank
Looking
God
for something new.
you haven't gotten bored of this. Thank God.
I know you'd be surprised. I have a lot of fun just fishing, what, hanging out,
What?
chatting with the fellas.
What?
But yeah, I really do have that mindset where unless a game is new enough or you're progressing in some way that's like tangible and meaningful and unlocking new stuff and experiences, I feel like I get bored of stuff so quickly. And then
Mm,
I just won't play it forever. Even though it was like a game I really messed with or really like. Just happens.
that's. I don't think I don't think I get bored that. But I would get bored really fast, but I don't think it's like because it's a new thing. I think it's like I already know I'll get bored, so I just don't
Hmm.
commit as hard. Or if I commit really hard, it
Yeah, maybe
takes me
get
a
in that
while to
loop.
come back. Like
Yeah,
say
just
Batman or something.
yeah, it reminds me of those bigger story-based games where it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of content to it, so it's a big
Hmm.
commitment. I do, even though there is good content and newer stuff, sometimes it just seems same. And I don't get around to finishing those ever.
Hmm.
But my mind doing all right. Otherwise, I'm just thankful that my work is for the most part kind of winding down. I mean, it's a good and a bad. Since we're hitting summer break, there's a lot fewer classes for me to sub for, but
Yeah.
that also means a lot less cash coming in.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
I feel the same way. I feel like we're quote unquote it's gonna be dead. They keep saying that it's gonna be dead, and then they keep moving the goalposts, but supposedly in July they say it's gonna be dead.
Oh
And
wow, really?
it's it's cool because yeah, I need like a good buffer. Also,
Oh yeah,
I'm a
who
lot more
doesn't?
monotone today. And my I felt very weak today. So it's staying
Oh,
down
fair.
here just to not stress anything out. Um
Ooh.
but yeah, it's like the work's not been so much of a rush these
Mm,
past couple weeks, but uh it would be nice to have like more of a 2 day a week type of thing for just like maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, a little bit of a break, just to slow down. But even when it does get slow, they still have you in for maintenance type of stuff or one-off
Mm-mm. No
events.
maintenance.
Nothing.
We don't really maintenance. We do like sometimes we do little petty stuff. Like sometimes we'll put like an image on the screen, but that's not unless there's something being held. And most of the time we're there if there's something being held. And when they're not using us, that's when we're not there.
Fair enough. And how is the work environment there? I mean, last time you spoke about it, you were not having the
Oh,
best time around folks.
yeah. Well, okay. It's shaked up a bit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
or did it? What was the last thing I told you?
Um, it's been a few different things evolving, but to recap, I mean, over time, you've been kind of feeling like you've been mm, like your voice hasn't really been heard, and even the stuff that you're working really hard on has not really been cared about. And also, the last time we spoke was specifically that the management it doesn't really care enough to get stuff done. They're like, "Oh yeah, great idea," but they don't follow up on it.
Okay.
But
Um,
yeah,
did I
one of defeating
mention
stuff
a
last
new
time.
guy or someone leaving?
I think you kind of mentioned that there was a guy who is planning on leaving, so he doesn't really care too much.
So okay, so that guy has left, and that did put like a big hole socially, because he was a really good social person.
Yeah.
Um, even though he was awkward, it was nice. And then we got a new person that was just like almost an instant hire because he was one of the boss's friends and just kind of like mentioned it, and he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can work, and like didn't put it through the process of anyone else. He's just like, I got a guy. and
Sure.
and then this guy has
Yeah.
been very particular in days that he wants. Like he's very religious, so he wants his Sundays off preferably. Uh, he doesn't know anything that we do.
Hmm.
He's not really working. He's supposedly hurt his foot, quote unquote, and hasn't like done anything for help. Anytime we're like, yeah, our job consists of like picking up cable, distributing cable, picking up speakers, putting speakers there,
Mhm.
building screens, picking up this, and he's like, man, I can't do any of that. And it's like,
What?
well,
Why were you
you
not?
shouldn't be here. And it's even more upsetting because he took the slot that the cat should have got, because the cat's been on um not full time, but the other one. Uh, and
Part
he
time?
part time. He's been in part time for a year, so the
I
slot
see.
was open, and he pretty much gets the gist of what we do, but it just got filled up by this guy that's just like a friend, and it's kind of shitty.
Yeah, the
We're
super
and
bullshit. I hate when stuff like that happens.
and we're all kind of in the agreement at the bottom, being like, this guy might not work out. We're hoping he finds some place to go during the summer and finds a better job, because supposedly he was an IT guy that did remote at home, and he was getting paid a lot more, so it doesn't make any sense why he's even with us.
Wow.
We all assume that it's just to hang out with the boss man a little more,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
unfortunately for him,
Wasting
for the
company
boss,
hours.
he recently had a light stroke.
Oh my gosh.
He's okay. Everything's okay with him. Just he has a little bit of short-term memory loss,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
which is a little bit sucky for the job that he does, doing a bunch of emails.
Yeah.
Um, and
That's
then
me.
his personalities kind of went away. Like he still has the charm that he had, where it's like he still laughs and stuff, and still throws like his little rhyming quips like he used to do, but it's a lot more he's a lot more unconfident. He's very timid, reserved, kind of just like blankly smiling. He just, trying not to fuck up, I guess, trying to just stay in control or something.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
It's very it's kind of crazy just to see him at work, especially since the stroke was like a week and a half ago. He was already back to
Right.
work. But like, I give him props. He was normal at working. He was fine with that. He didn't stay the whole time, but he was normal.
Fair.
But he just didn't act like the boss anymore. He just kind of acted like one of us, which is strange.
Mm. Some fucking vacuuming. Hey, you, me, and my Brother vacuum.
We both got fucked up audio then.
I don't think it'll be long. No, but that is still pretty weird. And I remember you saying last time too, I think that the boss was just a little less driven. Is
Hmm.
it the same guy you're talking about that
It's the
just
same guy,
recently?
yeah.
Yeah. And is he like still thinking sticking around long term? Because I feel like you were also saying the company kind of lives and breathes because of him. But
Oh no, that's the second in command. The second in
yeah,
command still. He's probably gonna do this until it dies. He's comfortable, but
interesting.
I mean, there's a little bit of a tone shift, I guess, with him acting different because this is the only side effect besides the short term that they said that he had, where he's either slowly gonna regain his old personality back, or this is his new personality, and we just gotta deal.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that could be good and bad because the main heads, not the director of the hotel, but the main heads knows about what happened, so they know that he's different now,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they treat him a lot more softly.
Oh, hey, other guy.
There's another guy, so
It's always good.
that they might, I don't know. He's like, a lot of people are saying hi to him more. He's being a lot more. He's greeting a lot more people, but he's just kind of like, he's like an Emmett right now from Lego Movie. He's just kind of like, he's like, hello, hi, I'm here, but
It's
then
my
like,
first day.
yeah, he's just kind of smiling through it. That's pretty much the gist of that. So we're trying to get that guy out, the
Yeah.
new recruiter out, so I can have the cat be working, and then that could be two
When he actually
paychecks.
fucking cares, probably, and can contribute.
Yeah. Or with Ron's new attitude, maybe second in command will uh take more charge. Like the first thing he did
Oh,
with him being out is, I don't know if it was because of a certain situation or something, but we have a blow up screen that we use for dive-in movies, and
right, right.
and the two different hotels we have wanted to use it at the same time, so we didn't have anything like that.
Oh,
So we bought one because the other one was technically given us to the by the hotel. We bought ourselves one, and it is so much better than the other screen, and it was like $200. It's perfect.
that's crazy.
Got the
Sweet.
screen, got the blow up. It's great. And that was like
Not bad.
a day or a couple days after the uh the stroke happened.
Wow.
So I don't
Okay.
know if it was with or without him. I have no idea.
Yeah. Bye, other guy. Oh, he's getting some bait. Yeah, at least something's moving. I mean, I wish you could recover to that guy, and I hope that the company, still, if anything, finds some room to grow despite this.
Yeah,
Especially grow beyond whoever this moron is they hired.
I think it will definitely, like I said, soften the relationship between the hotel and us. Now that like the main boss man kind of had like something medical happen to him, so he's not the same person that they've been talking to this whole time.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll do a change. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. It definitely, your life changes, and both people around you and your life changes when something like that happens.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, we had not to give specifics on the title of it, but we had an alien con that we did shit for. Dude, alien people are weird.
There's so many of them, dude. Yeah, I could go on and on about people I've met with some interesting alien theories.
They're very they're nice people. I will say they are very
Yeah,
nice people, but they're very like cult nice. You know, they're very
yeah, yeah.
like smiling at you, nodding, like join us. type of attitude, and it's
Yeah, the
I don't vibe
little children
well
with
with
the
that.
corn, creepy. Now I get that too. Yeah, it is almost a fake nice, a manufactured nice, but um, and I think it is sort of like a skeptical nice because anyone who is kind of that mindset that there are things out there that are known by others that are hidden from us is it's
Hmm.
such a dangerous slippery slope to be on.
Yeah, and a lot of them are older, like a lot. They're more into
Yeah,
the some gray hair showing type of age.
yeah, yeah. I will say that I've met like mm, I wonder what the like youngest conspiracy theorists I've met because they're all pretty old and to a point. I wouldn't say they're old, but they're matured.
Right, right, right.
It's not like you get too many like young ass people. Mostly like old enough to be a parent, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But holy shit, this is the biggest fish I've ever seen. Well, the hardest fish. I wouldn't say biggest. That was crazy. Where was I? Oh yeah, I would say probably the youngest I would say is like early 30s. I would say like right around like late 20s. There's like this kind of tendency for people to get kind of like anti the system. Not like it can't happen early, but they start to question everything. And it's not like you shouldn't question things, but they start to question the actual proof of what is going on. They're like, I don't believe that. Like, no, we're telling you, it's right there. You could just look it up. Or like, it's hard, and I'm gonna get political here, but
Uh-oh.
when people are like, "Oh, the Earth is flat," bro, you can just look at it. You can look at so many things. You don't need
Hey,
to trust anybody.
let you know, we can go fucking on Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye on this shit, but like as goes with like anything that you believe or any fandoms or anything like that, as long as you're not being aggressive with it, believe whatever the fuck you want. Who cares?
Very true.
If you
Very true.
really think that the earth is a frisbee disc, sure, whatever. I
It
think
really doesn't concern me. It's not my objective or prerogative to
no,
convince
right,
you
right,
otherwise.
right. I'm just clarifying.
Absolutely. But there for that one specifically, for some other like things that you can kind of just observe, like to get a little more like specific. I met a guy who was like a friend of a friend of my dad. Even maybe we were chatting at a bar, just had happened to run into him, and he's talking about like some really cool stuff about like some old 80s games. He's like really knowledgeable about the consoles and the science behind it.
Oh,
And
okay.
he kind of like mentioned, oh, I would love to like teach a class on this, even like at a collegiate level, the history of video games. Like he's just so knowledgeable. I would absolutely
Mm-hmm.
take his class, so he's like kind of leading out with this. He's talking about some other like love of math and science, and it kind of gets a little more like um
Treasure.
spiritual,
Oh,
kind of
okay.
mystical, not like conspiratorial, and he starts to talk about kind of like the government and aliens being hidden, kind of like we mentioned earlier, from us, alien landings and information that he's like, it's out there, you can read it, it's all available online. Like, why have I not heard of this? Like, this is like wild stuff. And I think he was talking about, you might remember this happened like a few years ago by now, but there was like a tiny, like foot tall alien mummy, quote unquote, that they found in like Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and they like brought it in front of the government, and they're like, dude, this is crazy, this
This
is
is
real, we
it.
just found this mummy. And I think when they finally, like, there was so many dodged attempts to actually get experts to look at it, but when they finally like tested it, I think it was like animal remains or something like that, like that were clearly testable and defined, and it was like an amalgamate of some things that were just shaped to look kind of like an alien. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was kind of clearly a hoax, guys. We knew this, but it got blown up so much. But this guy was like talking about it kind of as if there was some reality behind it. And
uh,
I was like, okay, okay. And then he started to talk about how like aliens are out there and they use like psychokinetic technology to like control their spaceships. I was like, all right, bro, you definitely lost me. I didn't say this at the time, but I was like, okay, whoa, like he's about to start like spitting, and he goes off on like, and he's like, and humans have this like psychokinetic power that we can use that we haven't really been able to tap into because the government
Okay.
is like hiding it
All
from
right.
us. And I'm like, holy shit, I would not take this guy's computer history class. I was like, what did we get to? And it like people can be very smart and they just have leanings toward things that I'm like, where are you basing this off of? What like, and I
Yeah.
was dying to know where his research came from, but like, you don't hear about that from too many minds.
Yeah, I'm it's really like the only thing I can compare it to is like FNAF lore of being like, all right, we
Yeah.
might be looking a little too far into all this shit. We- Can we just like play the game a little bit? Like it's cool to
Yeah.
know that yeah, like purple guy killed these kids or whatever and they're the animatronics now. That's really cool. That's the story. But now we're being like, "Oh, this is a prequel in 1975 where Glamrock Freddy is actually Nathan Glamrock's brother."
Oh, why
And
can't they just be a similar game?
yeah. That's
I
why
get that.
I'm kind of excited for the Mimic game because supposedly it's not taking place in a Fazbear location. It's taking place in a animatronic maker's place. So
Interesting.
it's the some of the animatronics that they make is for Fazbear, but they also make it for other shit. So
Yeah,
it's a little moving away from
totally.
all that shit. Obviously, there's gonna be things that people see and people be like, "Oh my god, this fully completes the timeline" or some shit.
I'm sure.
But you
But I
know,
think that's a great idea. Like, to kind of move away. But if anything, back to the roots of what the game was when there was just one out. But you don't really know a whole lot about the story. It's just like, these fucking things are haunted, you know?
hmm
What a scary environment that used to be.
yeah, with no lore, no nothing, just
Hmm.
scary robots.
Yeah, like it's a different environment going into it, kind of knowing everything.
But it's also it adds a layer of coolness to it.
Oh yeah, no, I would never shown someone wanting to like dig into the lore. I love stuff like that too.
Like
Become like highly educated.
I can only imagine what the hell's in the books because there's so many books, and
Right?
and the whole like concept of the so what keeps these animatronics alive is when you die, you have remnant, and this remnant goes into objects and makes the objects and the remnant soul live forever, and that's why
Well,
like Springtrap's been alive forever because his remnant doesn't die or some stupid shit like that. Like I don't
yeah.
even know if this is definitely just a cop out little thing.
Well, it always has to be at the end of the day. I mean, like, if you're gonna have any kind of, fantasy universe, there's gonna be something that's unrealistic, and people are gonna have questions. But you
Yeah.
have to write in something that is
Turtle.
it's enough. You know, the remnant. Yeah, sure, it's like a soul, but
Yeah,
it's just what they
whatever.
call a soul.
It's the same shit with Chucky being like, okay, he's been resurrected again, I guess. Whatever.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Sure.
More
Yeah.
Chucky, sure.
With anything like that, at some point you have to suspend your disbelief and just enjoy what it's intended to do. And with Chucky, it's intended to be scary, gory, thrilling.
Yeah. Oh,
So
what
you
the?
just let it happen.
So I had some things that I wrote down the other
Oh yeah,
day. It's not a
me
lot of
too.
stuff, but speaking of this scary thing, have I told you about the dream that I had that one time that was like in a hotel room and there was like this apology thing and it was like the only time I ever wrote down a dream ever because it was such a neat movie thing
Whoa.
idea in my
Hmm.
head.
This sounds super cool. I feel like you might have. It's enough. I can't recall any details, so maybe not.
Okay, so I've as of that I've definitely gotten rid of like what I written down, but I know the basis of what it
Yeah.
all was. So, do you know a movie called The Platform?
Uh-uh. Not by
So,
name.
so The Platform was like a Spanish um, Netflix show or something like that, where the basis of the show was that these people signed up for something that they weren't aware of, was told that they can bring one thing into it, and then they were sent to this like little room in the ground, and all they have is a number, a hole showing up and down, and once in a while this platform of food comes down and then shoots right back up at night, like really fast. So you can't escape, and that's your only source of food. And depending on what level you are, depends on if you eat well or you don't. It's simple as that. And if every once in a while they shuffle the people around,
Wow. Okay.
and that's the movie. And it leaves on a note of not knowing what happened, but that's
Sure.
the basis of the platform. There's this place that makes the food, they send the food down, and they eat the food. That's
Mhm.
It's a whole social construct of whatever, of
Totally
like
makes sense.
the top
And like,
doesn't talk to you, the bottom doesn't listen to you, like you're kind of alone in your little platform.
yeah, but there are people like directly above you that
That
will
Yeah,
take more food from the same platform that you're getting from.
yeah, it's a social construct of like the people above you will never help the people below you because they're the top, they're already there. But then
Yeah,
the
pretty
people at the
symbolic.
top will end up at the bottom, and then suddenly they want to be helped, but they're at the top now, so they won't help
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
So it's a nice, it's a good idea for a movie. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that there's a lot of uh connection between that and the dream I had. And
Really?
the dream I had was uh mostly taking place in a room that looked kind of like a hotel room, but it was just a hotel bed, white walls, a box TV with the little dresser thing around it, like an entertainment center.
Yeah.
Uh, a little nightstand with a lamp and a notepad with a pencil, and
Wow.
then once you go to the doorway or walkway to the door, you see I think it was I think it's you see the people above you. It's like a see-through glass, but they don't see you. So technically where you're standing to look through the glass, there's people below you that you can't see, but there's people
Mm-hmm.
above you that you can see. Uh there's one
Wow.
window next to you to see you're surrounded by water. It's kind of like in a moat. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you walk out the door, there's just this little office looking area with glass windows as walls with a little chute. And with that chute, it's meant to be for, it's small enough for items, but not big enough for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's no other way out. It literally looks like
Ah,
walls. Like this is the room that you're in, and you're stuck in here. There's no way in, no way out. That's it. Uh, I guess besides a window. So the person wakes up in this location, and he's obviously very confused. He doesn't know why he's in here until he meanders a little bit. He looks around. He sees that there's no way escaping. He's just kind of in there. He's trying to figure out why the hell he's there, and then the TV comes on. And when the TV comes on, it just simply says like some messages, like there's no sound, no nothing, just it turns on, is some messages, and it says, you don't know why you're here, but I know why you're here. You've done me wrong, and I want you to apologize for it, but you don't know who this is. Like they didn't say that, but like you don't know who this person that's sending the message, you don't know what you're
right.
apologizing for. But obviously this
Yeah.
is a person with so much power that you just did something so bad that now you're paying
Yeah.
for it.
You
So
think you might know.
so the character after a while puts the pieces together of that. You have the note, you have the notebook, and you had the chute. So you assume that you write your apology and you put it in the chute, and then you kind of like judged. So he initially writes an apology that's like any YouTuber apology where it's kind of half-hearted, kind of just like trying to move on, just being like, "Hey, listen, whatever I did to you, I apologize. I'm not sure what I did. Can we work this out?" Like shit like that. Puts it in the
Yeah.
chute, uh, and a day goes by. For some reason, in my world, they don't have food. There's no food ever mentioned, but they're fine. Uh, like a day goes by, no word, and then suddenly there's a lot of there's somebody at the door at the door, and he's like, "How the hell is there someone at the door? How did they get here?" And then they see that there was fuck, I'm jambling the days here, but I think it was some people that were they wanted like something from them. They were being very aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
and then he opens the door and he sees like 3 or 4 people there, and they're like medical people. They showed like they have nurse outfits on and stuff like that. Like they're trying to look professional, and they show that they're just like, "Hey, we just came to check in on you," like being all fake, "and we come to give you a shot or something like that. We have on your records that you need to take a shot," and obviously we don't. This character doesn't, and then they're still being all happy, but kind of showing like they're being fake, and then something along the lines, they start being forceful. They take the arm. Something happens. Something happens. Again, I don't have this written down anymore, but something happens. They're trying to take the shot, and then at some point, the arm that they were trying to take the shot, gets cut. Like it get from the elbow, it's cut, and then blackout. You wake back up. Everything reset.
What?
So we start back in the day one. Everything's the same. The same message pops up on the TV. You know what you did. I deserve an apology. So this time, he's trying, since obviously he tries to connect that maybe the people showed up because he put the letter and they were trying to put him under. To be like, it's not sincere, you die. Like he was trying to put that connection. So he's trying to figure out something more uh something more passionate here. He's sincerely writing this apology, putting a lot more soul into it, and as he's writing this, he doesn't want to send it in too soon. As he's writing this, he hears a knock on the door again, but it hasn't been a day yet. So, being weary, he opens the door, and there's like a kid, and he's like, "How the hell is there? Where'd this kid come from?" But he's like small, petite, kind of skinny, so he assumed that he was climbing up the chute. Like he was able to get in through the chute because of just his size and
Right.
his nimble and skinniness. So the kid doesn't talk. He just comes in and kind of just cradles against like the bed in the wall. He's like, "Okay." So he starts writing his note again, and right when he felt like he was about to finish, there's people at the door again. And again, it's not been a day. So he goes to answer it again, and the kid tries to stop him. And he hears him getting aggressive and more aggressive, and the kids start panicking and stuff like that. But since we know that cutting off an arm resets, he cut off an arm to reset. I don't know how. I assume he took something sharp, but he cut off his arm to reset. Maybe a shard of glass that was on the window or something.
So the whole arm got cut off the first time. I thought you were saying
It
just
was
got like.
to the elbow.
I see. Right. Well, yeah. Right. But it like lopped off with something. Yeesh.
Yeah. So now it resets one more time. The kid's gone. The aggressive man is gone.
Arm is gone.
But the arm is gone now.
No, he's missing his arm.
The arm's gone now. And he needs his other arm to write the message. So no more resets. And
Right.
I think at some point the person that was accusing him for the apology notices because the message changed. He said, "There's no way getting out of this. I will get my apology."
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I think he in this turnaround he doesn't even try to write a message. I think he writes some type of rebellious thing on the paper, and as he's trying to figure out how to get out of here, he hears the people upstairs, which is a couple, talk about how they figured out that there's people below them, so they were gonna take this, keep going down and just killing people down until they get to the bottom of the building. So he
Eesh.
takes this moment to figure out something, and I honestly don't know how this came together, but he somehow makes like a way to get out through the window where there's like a long thing, and he takes like the notebook or something and grinds along to the log to the outside the moat. Like some he got out. Point is he got out
Mm-hmm.
via the window via
That's
some
some dope
Mission
action
Impossible
movie
type shit.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise type shit.
And then it fast forwards to modern day where he's like normal, everything's fine, all that stuff. But now, obviously, anytime he does anything, like even nudges a person, so overly apologetic.
Oh
It
yeah.
changed
Right.
his life to be like, you can't be an asshole anymore. And yeah, that was the end of the dream. And it was,
That was such a good concept too. Wow. Very psychological.
yeah, just being like, you don't know who you fuck with.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of great ideas there. I would love to see that turned into a short film or feature length film. That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, so that was my
Dreams can be
dream.
so crazy. You know how long ago that was?
Oh, man. I
Been a
feel
while.
like it was during pandemic.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Like
Yeah.
I think it
Don't get
in
those
the
type of dreams all the
original
time.
write down there was maybe some other characters that I didn't know about, but that was basically the borderline of what everything happened.
Yeah, holy shit.
It was really cool. That was like the only time I ever written down a dream. I was like, this is a movie in my head.
Yeah,
Whatever the fuck just happened in here.
dreams are so amazing. I wish I did write them down more, honestly. I'm struggling to remember one I had last night in which at some point I thought I was going to die, but it was more so like a moment of sacrifice. And I don't remember what was causing the death, but I remember feeling like a pain in the right side of my chest and thinking that it was gonna like just be the death of me, but that I had somehow lived through it.
Oh.
It was so weird. Although it wasn't like a severe pain. It was just like obviously it was like dream pain.
Some people feel that though.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you like internalize things that are actually happening in real life, like maybe actual pain sensory uh, pain senses
Phantom
as like
pain.
what's happening in the dream. Phantom pain too. Is that like when you like have a
So
amputation?
yes, that is a form of it. Um, but like in VR, if you get hit with something or something sharp touches you, you will feel like
Ah,
it's pain.
I
It's
would
a
probably
more extreme version of phantom touch.
yeah, that's quite interesting. Which is one of those interesting illusions that like your brain will make you actually feel like you're in contact with something.
Hmm.
Very nice. You ever done that thing where you'll like stare into a mirror from a really really close distance at yourself, like in the eyes, until you kind of disassociate with your reflection?
No, that sounds pretty cool.
It's incredibly terrifying. It's a very potent delusion. I don't suggest it to the faint of heart, but it's very easy to like kind of detach yourself from what you look like from
Oh.
that close to the mirror, like inches away.
Oh, so it's like in your mind, that's not you.
Yeah, it sort of starts to set off psychological like fight or flight responses of I'm like face to face with somebody that I don't know, you know?
Huh.
And it makes it even more, real if you do actually like do an angry or antagonistic face at yourself, or if you just do it for an extended period of time. But again, don't recommend doing it if you don't actually want to creep yourself out. Like, don't do it alone at night.
Don't do anything alone.
Don't do anything alone at night. Don't
Yeah.
ever be alone.
You see that Wendy's? Yeah, don't go alone. No.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Dude, I got told today that apparently Gatorade is getting too adventurous and they're starting to fuse flavors.
They're finally coming out with some pretty neat flavors. Some stuff I fuck with.
I swear to God that people keep following food trends. Like all the drive-throughs fucking copy each other and then
Ooh yeah.
like what was it? I feel like there was something that was just everywhere for a second. Oh yeah, it was fucking the orange dream bar flavor. It was everywhere for a second. It was in Wendy's.
Yeah,
I
right.
feel like it was at McDonald's. It was at like Jack in the Box. It was fucking everywhere because one person does it successful. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're shooting for the races, and this is the same
Wild.
thing that's happening. I feel like right now, where they literally called the Gatorade flavors fusions, and Wendy's has fusion frosties now.
Ah, wow.
So
That's
I've
some bullshit.
there's some shit with that people are just like, you're successful. All right, that's working. All right, take that.
Mm-hmm. They don't have a copyright on that. We can do it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
It's
for like the
annoying.
craving boxes or something. Like obviously Wendy's always had the biggie bag, but then you have uh Taco Bell's craving boxes, and then Del Tacos has these new boxes, and it
Yeah, the box meal.
they just keep taking from each other.
Yeah, but it's like that. I mean, some people will argue, play devil's advocate. It's that sort of free market mentality that, if everyone's working off of the same sort of things, they're going to make it better. They're going to push it to be the best version of what it could possibly be each
Yeah,
time.
it is what it is. People are bad
It
at
is,
it most of the time.
that is true. Yeah, I eat less and less fast food nowadays.
Me and
I'm
the
just
cat did a
disappointed every time.
grocery trip for like the first time in a long time,
Very cool.
and I was really like, uh, we got a good amount of meals, but we also got a good amount of treats. Like we got three
Nice.
different ice creams, and
Ooh, that
and I
makes some
was
ice cream.
really like putting money into my account. Like, all right, $400. I expect this shit to be like 300, and then it came out to like 160. And in my
Let's
mind, I'm
go.
like, what the fuck? That doesn't look right. The cart's full. What?
Nice, yeah. Oof. Like, no lie, groceries can really be expensive. 160, not chump change, but when you're getting like groceries for your whole house for like weeks, that is very worth it, especially when you have multiple people contributing to groceries. Like,
Mm,
where did you go, by the way?
Walmart.
Ah, yeah, Walmart can do you right.
Ah, yeah,
Walmart
Walmart.
has Walmart has a pretty good selection, I will say, especially like the one that's near us has like just a lot of sections. It is a bigger Walmart, a superstore.
I go to the neighborhood market.
Oh, that's even closer to you. Yeah, that's nice. That obviously
We're
perfect for groceries. All you
we're
need.
just simpletons. I don't know. Like our meals was uh sloppy joes,
Nice.
sandwiches, quesadillas, hot dogs, a frozen pizza, orange chicken, um dino nuggies, spaghettios. Like these are meals.
Yeah, they're
It's
easy
not
ones.
that bad. Velveeta.
Shout outs. Yeah,
Very simple.
I haven't shopped in bulk for a long time, but I usually like to just buy something fresh and make it that night.
Hmm. We don't really need those like multi-purpose meals where it's like you get chicken fried steak with peas and corn and mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah, those like little like microwave meals.
Yeah, just kind
trays.
of fine as is. Speaking of fine as is, this is a terrible transition. There was another thing I remembered last night that I haven't thought of in years. Do you remember the quote, "Is that a foot?"
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
a
remember repeating
stupid
that
fucking
so
quote.
much. Now that you think about it, yeah, like so dumb that we found that funny.
Yeah,
That
give it
was like
context.
in like well, obviously freshman year was probably when we met a lot of our core group of friends at the time, and
hmm
we were so much higher energy than we ended up being later on throughout high school. But I think during a sleepover, we decided to camp like in the backyard of I think was it Eric's house.
I think it was.
I think that's what was happening at the time. And
Yeah.
it's like a tent. Did I say sleeping bag? I'm not sure. And a tent with like blankets and stuff. And we had set up like I think a CRT TV with extension cables
It
and
was a
like
sick ass tent.
we had Cody's PC at the time, which was pretty lightweight.
Oh yeah.
And we were playing like Gang Beasts, some like silly stuff. That was a fun time that night. That's what I remember the context being. But like, I think while we were trying to sleep, it's one of those moments with like your friends where everyone's just like trying to be quiet, but has to get one last little joke in,
It's a little giggle
one weird
fest.
thing, and then everyone just starts busting up. And I think something touched someone like while we were trying to find each other's space and not roll over too much. It's like 8 people in one tent. That's like for 4 people, eight like 14-year-old boys, and someone gets a foot in them. Was it Isaac? Will? I don't know who it was.
Well,
It was
it was one of you two because the joke is in between you and Will, and then I was just a repeater.
yeah, yeah, classic. We used to say for just like the next few years, is that a foot? Because someone got touched with a foot, and I don't even
Shit.
know if it was a foot. Fuck. At this
Yeah, we
point,
never known.
years
It
ago,
was still dark.
too dark. Anyone could have. It could have been anyone
That same
slipping in
night,
and out.
I found out just how avid of a Rubik's cube person you were because you brought a backpack full of so many Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, yeah. At that year, I still had a lot of them in my backpack because it was like just my favorite thing to do to pass the time. I was still collecting them and like just learning new ones, passing them out at school when we had free time.
Yeah, I don't know how you managed that. I did solve one, and it was the one I gave you.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a really cool one. Actually, I don't know where it ended up. It's in a box somewhere, I'm
I
pretty sure,
I gave him
with a lot of the
ones
others.
that originally I found it with my mom, and then I told my mom, "Mom, I want that," and he's like, you want that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I had them buy it for me so that I could give it to you, but I was gonna solve it first because
Oh, nice.
it looked simple enough. It was like a ball Rubik's Cube style, but the edges were gears, so you didn't have to solve for the edges. You would only just make sure that when you spun it for that color, it ends up on the right side. So it was a lot more simpleton for me.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a little different. You could use a lot of the same ideas to like get good at it or do it quickly, but it was a much uh, more unique and fun approach for all ages and all minds.
Yeah.
I love that one. I used to just get any kind. That was like one of the first ones I had that had gears in it. I
hmm
had one that had no center. It's called the
Oh.
Void Cube. So it was kind of cool because the center space doesn't matter now. But if you solve it with the wrong quote unquote orientation of the center, it like would look fucked up. I think the edges would be misaligned, or one of the edges would be. So you had to like,
Oh.
if you did that, you had to know how to fix it. It was like all these like little quirks.
How do you spin it without a center?
It spun horribly, and that was
Oh.
because instead of like a center core, it was like a hollow, like very thin core that they just kind of very slowly slid around,
Oh, okay.
leaving like a little just space in the center for you to stick your finger through.
Hmm.
It was one of the worst turning Rubik's cubes I had, but I'm sure there's better ones out there.
And this motherfucker had like 32 by 32 shit.
I think the biggest I had was like 7x7. That was like the biggest I ever solved. I always wanted to get a bigger one,
Well, you had
but
bigger ones.
I don't know.
You had
Maybe
like
I
the
had,
ones that were like really fucking tiny and like hefty.
yeah, but like I think the largest I had, and maybe I had something bigger than a 10x10, but I think I only had a 7x7 like pieces, which really got jumbled. But I also had like the one that was 12-sided and some other funky stuff. Those are really cool.
Mm. I've yet to solve a normal Rubik's cube. I think I told you once, but um, I went to visit my other uncle one time, and I was a fucking brat. I was whining a lot. It's just because they do life differently over in his house. Like he's very much he has daughters that are just like, all right, you find your passion and you're gonna fucking work at it, and that's like no excuses. And it he works very hard, the mom works very hard, the daughters both work very hard,
Yeah.
uh, and that just wasn't my style. I was very much lazy and didn't want to do much, and I was there for a while. I couldn't leave, so
Oh yeah. Oh, I see.
um, I was just whining and stuff. But then there was a time that he came in and he had a Rubik's cube because I was trying to solve it just to pass time, and fucking he's talking something to me. He takes a Rubik's cube and he's talking to me, not even looking at it, and he was just like basically doing a metaphor of just being like, you may not like where you are, but if you just give it a chance and really think about what you could do here, then maybe. And then he shows 3 sides solved and gives it to me. He's like, then maybe you'll have fun here. And I was like, well, how the fuck did what? How'd you do that? And then he just walked away.
What a guy. It wasn't even fully solved when he gave it to you. He like gave you the rest of the puzzle
Yeah,
out.
I didn't
It's kind
touch
of
it
fun.
because I knew I would fuck it up.
That's kind of a memorable moment. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of moments with that uncle, but he even took me once to his work, and his work is like building websites. Um, and I was just sitting there. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have any toys. I had nothing. I just was sitting at a desk, and I was just making little hand adventures where I was pretending my hands were characters and having little
I've done
adventures.
that. I've
And
absolutely done that.
he saw that and he was like, "See, you're very creative. Just make, you know, your boredom creative." Like it was a lesson. The whole point of me
Mhm.
being there with nothing was the lesson. He
Yeah,
was a really good parent.
that's an extremely important lesson for some kids that, well, I think a lot of people just don't get nowadays. There's so many sources of entertainment thrust in your hand.
Yeah. I was still very bored. But
Oh yeah, no, it's not like the boredom doesn't exist, but like, fucking imagine not having internet. Imagine fucking
yeah, can you imagine the
being in a
agony of someone
less
that's
fortunate
always on the
place.
computer and he's just on the computer doing his job and I'm just like watching him. And I'm like, this sucks.
You're using the computer wrong, dude.
Yeah, what the
There's
hell? You
YouTube on
have a
this shit.
second monitor. It's there was times that like my dad took me to work when I was younger and he was like had an office job and I remember playing like an Ice Age fucking little mini game that was on the DVD on his computer and
That's fucking great.
he would just let me do that.
That's fucking cool. I don't know if I ever like went to work with my parents. Like on like one or two occasions, I kind of like went on business meetings, maybe, or like while he was seeing a coworker. Um, and maybe once into his work when I was super fucking young, my dad. But like, I don't know. My dad never worked a job like that with like his own office, you know?
Mhm.
You know what though? He was the like manager of a restaurant once that like he took us there all the time because he had to get shit done. But it was never like wall. there was service happening. It was like before work.
Mhm. I always thought I wanted to have like when I was growing up, it would be nice to have like a cubicle or like a little office space that I can decorate and like
Oh
be
yeah,
kind of like, yeah, I can come to this and I'll feel like a little comfy here. Like sometimes I'll see at work that other people that have offices, they'll have like little Funkos and stuff in there, and I'm like,
totally.
oh,
Yeah,
cool, that's awesome. I would never put my Funkos in there,
I
but
wouldn't either. I think about that. And, I think about it because I am always in a different teacher's classroom, and
uh,
teachers love to decorate their classroom, like in some way or another. Some
oh
people don't,
yeah,
the psychopaths that just have like completely blank walls, but a lot of people will have pictures or like little gifts or drawings from the students or like
mm-hmm.
things from years past or little trinkets. Sometimes they'll have way too much shit like all over their desk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how like clearly you're here every day, but like how do you have this much personal stuff? I've been in a classroom where one guy had like 3 or 4 guitars mounted on the wall, expensive ass $1,000 guitars, and I'm like, this is a high school. Kids like throw shit. Kids get like rowdy. Kids like to steal shit. How do
I
you
mean,
have these up here?
I mean, it's memorable as fuck, and I mean, if you're one of those people that kind of want to show off what you collect, I totally get
Totally.
it. I can't do that because it's too big, and plus,
Yeah.
I keep all the people that I talked about that have their Funkos on the office. They keep them in box, which is
Yeah. Wow.
that's
That's even bigger.
fine. But like, I don't know. Wouldn't you feel like it gets damaged, it gets stolen, it gets it takes up space. It
Yeah.
like I don't know, it shouldn't be at work. It like if I really wanted to, I know like a couple Funkos that would be like, yeah, I'd like to have that at work, like maybe a Shadow the Hedgehog or
Hmm.
something, but like I'm not taking
Not the
more than
collection.
two.
Yeah. Not bringing my collection to work
Nah, no
in
way.
any case. And same thing with even photos. Like it'd be great to have a photo. I don't want to make a photo wall unless it's like literally like I guess for some teachers it totally makes sense. They've been there like several years. They're on contract to be there several more years. They're like, yeah, let me fucking decorate it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. But I think it's different in a more kind of day to day, less invested job.
Yeah. And I have a great example. Shout out to Miss Campbell. I stole her I stole I stole like a pink emerald gem thing that she had on her desk. It and I was in there for something, I don't remember. And then I just had it in my hand and I was like, this weighs really nice and it looks like a chaos emerald. And then I just
Damn.
left with it. And I still have
Yeah.
it. It's right over there.
Oh,
Eh,
that's so fucking funny.
And I
I
don't know if
wonder
I
if
would
you
ever
showed
return
it to
it.
her,
And
if she knew.
no, I don't. Well, she never brought it up. I'm sure she knew
Right.
that it was gone, but I never brought it up to her. And I feel like if I did, she would be like, "No, no, you give it back."
She would laugh so hard. I should probably want it back, but she's also the type of person that would probably say, "You can keep
Yeah, I took care of it. I took care of it. It
it."
has scratches on the top, but it was like that when I got it.
Yeah. Well, honestly though, like teachers that have that kind of shit around them, especially, know that kids are gonna fucking try to take some of it.
Yeah.
They're gonna succeed. It's just a matter of time.
I mean, especially when it's right next to the fucking Tootsie Rolls. I mean, come on. Who's not gonna. Come on.
Dude, people spend so much money, teachers, for their like kids buying candy and shit.
Dude, I feel bad the teachers have to. I didn't realize that, like, now growing up, you see all this shit, but anytime they ever did like any potlucks or pizza parties or stuff like that,
Yeah,
that's just the kindness of the teacher. And you're like, why
yeah,
the fuck is it always Costco and Little Caesars? They're so cheap. And you're like, well, they didn't have to get you shit.
yeah. I know exactly. It's it was always so nice, and looking back, it's even fucking crazier that they did any of that. But I hope to do
Mm,
the same sort of thing. I mean, you want to give back,
yeah,
make
it
those memories.
it's even nicer when the kids give back too. Like God,
That is always sweet.
I can't remember her name, but she was like a math teacher, kind of in the far corner. Uh, and the kids knew it was her birthday, and they gave her a birthday cake and say happy birthday, and did it gave her a whole shebang, and I think they even gave her like new shoes.
Damn.
And it was really nice. I had no idea, but I guess some kids arranged it. There was another math teacher that was getting fired at like the end of the year. Didn't get the tenure yet, but he was like after school. He was always holding his class open for kids to
Mm.
do the math homework with, and basically give you the answer, but like do it with you. And everybody just thought it was very unfair that he was getting fired, and people tried to do a petition or something, and then it didn't work out. And near the end of the math test, he was like, "I'm not telling you to cheat, but if you would."
Oh my
Oh
fucking
my
god.
god, a
I
whale!
can't even I can't even see the whole thing on my screen.
Yeah, that's a whale, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking 36 3 what the how big is this?
You're arching your back
36 meters.
hella.
It says this is fucking 1,000 feet. I don't know, 100 feet long.
But yeah, it
Maybe.
was the end of the year test, and he's like, "I'm not telling you that you can cheat, but if you had something prepared to cheat, I'm not looking." Because he knew he was getting fired, so it didn't matter. It,
Yeah.
and then when I went to pre-cal during the summer, he showed up. He didn't even do the class. He was just showing up because he knew that some of his kids from his class was doing pre-cal. So he was just
Wow.
seeing if things were going well, and he was just like, he didn't even work there anymore.
That is too fucking cool. What a nice guy.
Yeah, what a chill fucking dude.
Yeah, that's what like you do need as a teacher. Someone who just actually cares that the students are like improving.
Cares about the students and cares about the subject.
Yeah, definitely that too.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Campbell ever more happy than when he's doing his class.
Oh my god, yeah. And he just gets right to it. He loves to share that stuff with people, you know?
Yeah. Like
Like
he's
he
all
comes in
giddy
there,
with his hands, and he's smiling, and
right?
he's being like,
Yeah.
"All right, so we're gonna watch a video, okay? It's gonna be great. We're gonna analyze it. It's gonna be short, and then I'm gonna ask some questions. All right, cool, awesome." And then he just starts the video, and he's like, "All right, what do we think?" What?
With that big bright-eyed smile.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
oh,
Fun times in school. Yeah, like I really hope that more people, or at least some people, appreciate their time in school for the, you know, the actual learning. I've always loved learning. There's so much bountiful, beautiful knowledge out there for us.
mhm. It's quite the fun time. I don't miss it though. I don't miss the schooling
No,
part of
thank
school.
God. Yeah, thank God I'm done with that.
You did
It
college,
is
right?
nice. Yeah, I was also in university for 5 years. I
Yeah.
could have technically done it in four, but I missed a class on like second to last quarter.
Yeah. Online or physical?
No, um, online probably contributed to some of it, but the school just had a really bad fucking um, like class request, yeah, enrollment fucking
Mm.
system, and I technically missed out on like English for like so long. I should have gotten English freshman year, and I couldn't take it till my third year. And I finally took the class, which let me take like one other class that was required. But by that point, I was already behind because I
Oh
needed
man.
to take a class that required the class that I was taking that same quarter. So it was like, now I have to wait a quarter. In that class, I wouldn't be able to take for another year. So I had to wait a whole year. I was like, that balls.
Lame. That's
Yeah,
fucking
but
lame.
like I said, I loved learning. And during that year, I got to take a whole bunch of that I actually really just enjoyed, my favorite subjects that I had learned throughout my 4 years. So I was like, let's dig in and just have fun.
Hell yeah. What
And
would you top three advice for anybody that would have not yet taken college or would like to pursue college and is not there yet?
Um, I would say talk to your resources. Reach out and actually use your resources. If you have career advisors, if you have counselors, talk to them and ask them the questions that you don't know. And yeah, sometimes they won't be able to tell you everything, but they're the best people to know. You might as well
Mm,
talk to them. And there's so many resources like that that I never used. There were a lot of career fairs and stuff like that in college that I never went to, where you make a lot of connection. And if there's anything that I've learned, connections really make the game happen, make the
yeah.
world go round. It's like meet people and don't be afraid to meet people. Even if you're like not the most social person, if you like to spend your nights in, you meet people during the day. Just get yourself out there. But yeah,
Was that 3?
I don't know if that was exactly three, but it was definitely like use your resources, talk to your counselors,
Mm-hmm.
connect, make networking decisions, and I guess if I had to make a third one, um, it's not a race. Definitely
Ooh.
just do like do your best work, and if you need to retake the class, take the class. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't do college right now, do it in a few years.
Yeah, there's plenty of parents out there that has had kids and then went to school.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My mom got her master's long after you know having 5 kids.
Yeah, it's it's only when you're ready or if you ever want it, because there's plenty of proof that you don't need college to be successful. It's just
Absolutely.
a it's just to more hone in what you want, and then obviously having more of credentials of getting what you want.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Yeah, like the degree isn't for everyone, and it isn't everything. And no matter what, there are other things that you will find just as valuable, if not more so, in your particular specialty as you work. So find the thing that you really like and just give it a shot, whether or not you have
Yeah,
like
even
a
if you don't
degree. There are other certifications you can get.
even if you don't know what you want for college, learning
Hmm.
what you think you want to learn is still useful. Even though people joke
Yeah,
about like, oh, what am I gonna do with this art college degree?
yeah.
Stuff like
But
that. You
if you can
still
get it
learn
cheap,
shit.
especially it's helpful if you can afford to pay for an expensive one, like go by all means learn what's valuable to you. There's a lot of stuff online, even in the most expensive like colleges around the world. They will provide free lectures for everybody online for their most advanced fields. You just
Mm.
gotta do some research yourself and be willing to learn.
And then last point, to go back to your connections. Connections is important whether you go to college, not go to college, don't finish college, finish
Hmm.
college. Connections does go around everywhere because you don't whether you think you are or not, you're making a connection with a how are you?
Hmm.
They might start something that might start a chain reaction of doing it every day, so they recognize you. Maybe
Yeah.
just you could talk to them that day and they're struggling, and then there you go for that. And then
Sometimes it's
little
a
do
lot more
you
meaningful.
know, maybe they're at the end of their college, maybe you become friends, and then they finish before you, they get their job, and then they're like, hey, I know this person that just finished their college in the same college that I went to. Great guy.
Yeah. Right.
Have him join in our company. And then there you go. You never know. That's where I
Yeah.
am. I with my job, it's all about connections. I started with my neighbor that got me into there. And then the
I
neighbor
mean,
went to being in the company to then going to the pandemic, and then my old boss before pandemic put me in a drive-in movie, and then they originally wanted me back after pandemic with that same boss, and then when I joined, that boss was gone, when replaced with a new boss that later joined to this startup company, and they brought me over. So it's I've just been tagged along with a bunch of other people to doing the
yeah.
same job.
Yeah. Make yourself heard and get to know people.
Yeah,
We'd be nowhere without others.
we would like to know more people. through this podcast. If you have any fun little topics, stories, anything like that, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to talk about it in a later pod, something like that. We would like to connect more with some people that we know. We've already had Kyle on here. We could have
Yeah,
other people on here talk a little bit more because I didn't know
absolutely.
some of that stuff with the teacher in the theater class because I was late.
Yeah, yeah. There's always going to be different views and different stories that'll come up, which is always fun when we have the people. I absolutely know we will have some other folks on soon. We will probably find some other fun little things to do with this podcast. It's gonna evolve. Who
Hmm.
knows? It'll be the same thing next year.
Whether this channel ever gets big, at the end of it all, we still would like interactions of like whatever you think, whatever topics you want, whatever games that you would like to suggest, whatever ideas you have. Even though we're the two heads of this Hydra, the third head is the other fellas, whoever you might be. This is a
Fellas, we made it
collaborative
all happen.
effort. Without you, we don't exist. Without us, you don't exist. It's a give
Absolutely,
back.
yeah.
It's a give and take here. So you don't have to comment now. You could comment later. You could comment whenever you like. There might be a post later. You could comment on the post. I don't know. Just
You can join the Discord and talk a bit more
yeah.
personally.
There's a Discord. Adam put it up. There's a Discord
Down.
that we do. Actually, he can't put it up. Point down. Point down. Discord's down below. The
You'll find it.
We're trying to grow that. We also have the previous one that I am the reign of that you can also do it in there. It's just it's a community thing. It's not
Yeah,
we're not trying to get big. We're just having fun.
we're
This
having so
is
much fun too.
this is something that I've always wanted to do in a format. I've always wanted to do YouTube stuff since I was like 12 and I've stopped, but this versus content has always been like in the loop and it's never been able to be done until now and it's it's more than what I could have expected. It's a fun time. Everybody gets time to play, everybody gets time to have a good time and
Hmm.
it's good all around in my eyes, and still keeping uh, that raw footage type style to make it feel more, like a personal thing.
Yeah, but I still want to, keep doing our little tricks. I want to have some other fellas on, maybe play 3-man versus, do
Hmm.
some more game versus game or blindfolded or stuff with lifelines. Just like fucking mix it up here and there.
Yeah,
It's always gonna be the same old form,
the
same
core
old
will stay the same.
formula. But we want to have fun with it too. And I just gotta say, I think it's crazy, and I really appreciate the more than 50 fellas we already got on the channel. I feel like that's so cool
Yeah, it feels
to be able to
earned,
connect.
doesn't it? It feels like genuinely like earned. Because when I did the other channel, I was getting a new sub every time I uploaded. And like
Right.
it's cool. It's like, man, it's almost like every time I do something, I get the reward of a sub. But there's something about these ones of like the comments we get, even though it's not a lot, the comments we get is genuine. They like it. They're showing that they're pleased with the content and stuff like that. They like what we're putting out, and it shows. The numbers don't matter at the
Yeah.
end of it.
I love the content though,
Yeah.
and I hope it continues to get better.
Yeah. Well, that's a lock in for another pod.
That was lovely, my friend. We can just cut the cameras, right?
No, you got some responsibilities, Camerai.
Ah, the camera is here.
It's the same segment, new style. Since Kyle brought it up.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were gonna do it in the same episode that he kind of mentioned it, but yeah. Do you have a new intro for this one, or just a
Uh,
fancy little edit?
uh, Camerai got a haiku for you. Please listen. I don't
the
know. I don't
Duncan
have
fits
anything for
into
this
the
one.
table.
It's really just gonna be like a sound effect, and then your little
Mm,
thing pops up, and then your text pops up.
awesome. Awesome.
It's a different intro. I can't do it. We have been not fuck. We have been. What's the word? The camera has
Fixed.
approached. The camera is here. We've been greeted by the camera. Go ahead.
Mm. Our dreams and stories tell of the past and future from another view. Mm.
Beautiful camera. Beautiful. Your fishing pole looks more like a sword every day.
Whatcha?
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another successful Hydra Link podcast. Hopefully, to go for 100 more. Rick and
Lovely
Morty, 100
jubbly.
years, 100 years. Rick and Morty, 100 years.
Next time we'll recap fucking Retrium Day.
Yeah, hope to see you on Retrium Day, the 16th and 17th of June. If you want to celebrate for one day, it's definitely the 16th, but we have to do it 2 days for each other. So 16th and 17th for both of us.
Love you.
Love you. See you on Retrium Day. See you for another pod. See you whenever we see you.
Bye.